Beloved star, warmest welcome to Elven Pod 77. And we are now in the heart of what the Elven know as the Bluebell Moon. And the signature of the Bluebell Moon is that of action and holiest action, as they call this. Now we are in an age of monumental shift when the original blueprint of all that we are, our own source coding and instructions, returns. Everything's returning, being returned back to its pristine state, to its purity. And with that, we have the revelation of distortion. And that is really obvious, big distortion, but it's also subtle and far within us, very, very personal. And it's something that as we go on with our ascension and as we reach the phases that we're reaching, that we get more and more sensitive to. So you get more and more sensitive to noticing distortion within yourself, a more and more refined awareness around that, and noticing that especially this moon, this being the moon of holiest action, of the realm of action, and so our restoration is through everything. And this moon, there's the special focus on the restoration of our dimension of action to the state of the original blueprint, the original pristine and pure way of action within you, your real way of doing things, and the types of action that are most natural to you, that are most expressive of who you truly are. And often we experience the distortions, and even the strongest distortions, in the very place of the actions and the way of action that is most native and most natural to us. And that's part of our evolution. That's part of how each one of us evolves in our great journey and adventure through worlds and dimensions, is to experience these overlays, these ventures away from the purity of that which we are, in the place of our deepest gifts, in the place of our deepest capacity for mastery, for the thing that we're really, really, really here to give. So if you, like me, I know at times I can blame myself for struggling in the areas where I know I have most to give, and wondering why should it be so? Shouldn't I just be able to do this? And in truth, there is a metaphysical logic more deeply to this, that we do struggle often, most greatly, in the areas where we have the most to give. Because what we're working towards in those areas is an absolutely embodied and conscious mastery. It's a state of realization in that area. You'll have learnt it, your whole heart, like rather than being a half submerged iceberg, just carrying lots of unconscious knowledge, unconscious skills, gifts, a kind of functioning that's running out of a deep unconsciousness that's there holding all of this capacity. Instead of that, we have the potential through these challenges to make that an embodied and a conscious gift, like the heart, if you like, rising like the iceberg out from the sea, becoming fully known to us, how this gift expresses, how it functions, a full conscious mastery in that dimension. And so that is why so often our soul gift is the area of our greatest challenge and our greatest learning. And often it's the area where, so in terms of action, where perhaps we actually hold back or don't fully give what we're here to give. And from the point of view of the metaphysical perspective, the holding back is as significant as an action that's completely out of alignment with what we are here to give, what we're here to bring. When we hold back on the flow of the soul star, on our realm of true action in that regard, that is counts as an action, if you like. It's as significant an act as if we were doing something in direct contradiction to that soul star expression. So when we hold back in that area, as well as when we act in contradiction to it, that's where we get the real repercussions. Deep repercussions within our being are felt. It's where we experience our suffering. It's where we experience that lack of alignment with ourselves. And again, that's not to punish us. It's because this is the dimension of our truth. It's your true functioning. And as you consciously master that, and as you go through the learning around that, you will experience the greatest joy and the greatest peace and the greatest wholeness you can possibly know. And so it is an area that the soul is, if you like, profoundly invested in. There is so much investment in that. It matters. It really matters, which is why we can feel so deeply around that area. So with this moon, so these areas of our action, of what we're truly here to bring, to give, to do. And that's not just actual actions, that's also the way of action, your natural way of doing anything. And that actually being in flow within you, being expressed through your body. Well, this year we have a year where the body is coming to remember ourselves as energy, ourselves as vast light creating itself into form, and our capacity as a star creator to create our own reality, our own world, the body remembering that we are this. So this is a cellular knowing. So if you think of the realm of action, that is embodiment, that is the body's way. And so at this threshold of action, we might really be becoming sensitive this moon, and this is what I'm seeing in the energy and experiencing myself, like super sensitive to the way that you do things, super sensitive to the energy that's imbuing your actions. Is there force? Is there tension? Is there holding back? Is there control? Really noticing these currents within the dimension of action and the way that you do things. And that's, again, an observation that's happening, not to beat ourselves up with, but to actually, it's the light of the pure blueprint of yourself, if you like. It's the light of the pure knowing of the body also that is beginning to remember itself as that pure and original signature of who you are. Again, there's this restoration back to the original. And that creates, that highlights the distortion. It brings into vivid contrast, and we become more and more, the more we get in connection to the original blueprint of who we are, the more that contrast shows up, the more revelation we have. And we see that collectively and also within ourselves. And that state of revelation is one to walk really gently within your soul. Because just as with the collective, we can see individually, revelation can also bring, if we don't handle it with balance, it can bring further split within our psyche, or further suffering, or further struggle within consciousness, because we start to juxtapose these aspects of ourselves and almost start a war within ourselves. Or we can see it within the collective, again, obsessing over that which we're battling against, whether it's internal or external. And in truth, what we have is not a situation where that original light is battling with the distortion and fighting it. What we have is a state where your original light is illuminating the truth within you. It's showing with absolute neutrality, absolute divine love, what is. And that's all that's happening. It's simply showing what is. And in that illumination, when that illumination is allowed to run its course, when it's allowed to do what it's doing, it's a breath of illumination that travels right to the root, right to the heart of those patterns of distortion, and facilitates their release, their reset, their restoration, right from the root, right from the animating impulse of the energy at the heart of that distortion. And that gets to run out of us, run out of our core, that whole line of energy. So this is a moment, and the guidance of the Elven this week for our ascension is very much to keep allowing moments of stillness throughout your day. They're super important right now, and you might feel really guided to them anyway. Moments of stillness, moments of rest, moments when, even if you're resting or sleeping or half asleep, when you are conscious of letting your original, you are choosing even more than letting, as the star creator that you are, as this one who is vast light creating itself into form, that you are choosing the presence of your oversoul. You're choosing that. And in that state, allowing that illumination to run through any patterns of energy that are releasing from your body, that are releasing from your cells right now, any old patterns of momentum that are wanting to run themselves out. So especially if you think that our action is guided by, once we let our bodies start acting, setting in any stream of action, it's going to be acting on the energy we're carrying within. It's going to be acting on the energy within our cellular patterning, and it's going to be expressive of that. So with these moments of stillness, what we get is the opportunity for the old momentum, the old energy to actually run out of our cells, for our cells to undergo this vast and beautiful repatterning that is repatterning by the light of our oversoul, by the light of Source itself, the great central sun, by the light of our star kin and kindred and celestial support. All of this is overlighting so that the illumined restoration can take place within the core of our beings. Moments of stillness, moments of insight, moments of clarity, moments of connection with ourselves. Because it's really hard to do that when we continuously have the overlay of the outer world, of our loved ones, of the people around us, of the things that need to be done, of the things we need to do. So we need those interactions. That's a huge part of our expression. But we also need these pockets of stillness, of silence, of solitude unto ourselves, so that we can discover what's really happening. Because otherwise it's so easy to project the distortion outwards. It's so easy. You know, the distortion that is being illumined, for it to be projected outside of ourselves, or to get kind of, for what's running out of us to get kind of entwined or entangled with what perhaps is passing out of someone else, or being illumined in the collective field, or in the presence of someone who's close to you. So we need these moments so that we can feel and become aware of ourselves. We're in a phase this year where we really, this inner mastery is just deepening and deepening. And with every one of these, so however often you feel guided or you need them, because what's happening is this incredible reset over and over again, where we're entering into this embodied timeline of ourselves as these seventh dimensional star creators of dawn. And that we're remembering that, our bodies are remembering that, and you'll be feeling that, the waves when you are knowing yourself in this way. You can feel yourself as this stargate of presence, as this one who is literally dimensionally shifting the fields, creating, co-creating with earth, letting through the light of your oversoul, fusing here in a whole new dimension of creation and co-creation. So these luminous portals, and I will speak more to that next week, the state of Star Creator presence, the state of Stargate, because it's becoming more and more differentiated. And we'll return to this great theme. But what I'm speaking to this week is the aspect of the Stargate of presence, where when you call in the Stargate of your oversoul, it's actually a place where we can vanish, delete, release old momentum, let it phase out of our continuum. the old timelines, the old momentums phasing out of us in the stillness, so that we get right from the root of ourselves, from that inner child, from that one in all of its facets, in every facet, to become unified and reunified, restored to the light of the original blueprint. So from that place, we really come back to the actions, the way of action, probably for the first time in this body in this lifetime, get to experience more and more what the trajectory is, that those actions that you know in your soul of souls are natural and native to you, that you know your greatest skills and gifts and talents, that more and more you get to experience that liberated flow of natural action from that place, the expression of those gifts, less and less holding back, less and less control, less and less force or pushing, just this absolutely natural, organic cadence of action of that one who you are, doing what you've always been here to do and bring and be. It's not meant to be a struggle. It's just that it's important that we fully consciously learn in these dimensions of our greatest gifts. So they will be the places where we experience struggle, so that we can consciously learn from those challenges and come into the fully realized wisdom and expression in that aspect of ourselves that we're here to be and to bring. So much love. Have a beautiful week. And Enara Titian Thoria, wishing you all blessings to this shift in your dimension of holiest action this week of the Bluebell Moon. So much love, and I shall see you soon. Farewell for now.